What was the relationship like between you and Mark?
Let's say the media always made it bigger than it was. We really respected each other. Mark is a really good guy. He really knows how to behave and also how to handle staff members, etc. Um, but let's say at the end, it comes down to the sportive point of view, and I think this made it difficult to really get a good connection together.
Yeah, was it that was 2011? I'm trying to think. Worlds 2011 was Copenhagen, where Cav was. So you were two of fastest in the world. You and Cav were first and second in Copenhagen that year.
I was third,
Or were you
unfortunately.
third?
Yeah,
Who was it? Gus?
yeah, yeah. Matthew goes.
Oh, that's a good memory. I pulled that one out.
Yeah, that was yeah uh, one of the things I really wanted to have this rainbow jersey. But yeah, with all the circumstances in the national team, we had things just went wrong, and we just had two guys in the final with myself, the last 50 kilometers, which doesn't make it easier in the World Championship.
And so you're moving on from HTC into Lotto. And when I think of André Greipel, I think of immediately hands in the air, winning bunch sprints in a Lotto jersey. It feels like that was the most fruitful period of your career. Do you look back on Lotto as the peak?
Um, when I went to Lotto, I was 28 when I did my first Tour de France, and it was time for me to get there to the Tour de France and yeah, make that childhood dream come true. Um, and yeah, I'm just really grateful and happy that I made that choice because I really got a team together and also the trust of the sponsors and also the team managers to really put this team behind me and also start winning races. And yeah, it was really nice that I got all this trust and yeah, that I could also prove it at the end with victories.
And how we, a lot of listeners to the podcast, they understand that cycling is a team sport, and they understand there's a level of sacrifice on it. But how much of a burden on your shoulders is that level of sacrifice? And everybody on a given sprint stage, even the entire staff, the entire focus is Andre Greipel. You need broad shoulders, it would seem, to carry that level of sacrifice. Did that ever bother you, or did it weigh heavy on you?
I would lie if I said if I would say now that it didn't bother me. Let's say I always tried to share the pressure I had on all the shoulders, which with the riders I took part in all the races, but it never worked out because yeah, mentally you're always stressed. When you lost a sprint, you take it with you in the night, and you're thinking a lot about it, and the next day you have the pressure again. It wasn't easy. I'm honest, but I had really good teammates around me who supported me with a lot of things was going in my head, and also they knew how to turn the screws that I'm totally convinced that they deliver me, and it sometimes I never believed in it, but yeah, I just at the end I just trusted my teammates and they delivered me, which made it sometimes more and more easy. But I'm honest that sometimes it wasn't easy to handle all the pressure.
It's got to be hard for one of these guys in the tour as well, where you ride on day one, you control a break, you bring the break back, you deliver the perfect lead out, and then you lose the sprint. And then day two, they do the exact same thing, and maybe you don't win the sprint again. For them to rally and to do the same again on the third day, on the fourth day, and then eventually you win a sprint, it takes some trust. It's some level of sacrifice, and the pressure just must build and build and build each consecutive day that it doesn't work.
Exactly. But I think everybody is super professional when you know you have one of the fastest guys in the bunch in your team. It's it's just something you have to do there because you're taking part in the biggest races of the world, and when you got told to chase a breakaway down, then you do it, and by doing this, you also trust your teammate. But yeah, let's say I never got the impression that the teammates were angry with myself when I lost the race. I felt angry, or I felt sorry for them because they really killed themselves to deliver me. But yeah, they were also really good in telling me that, hey, that we're gonna do it the next day better. And let's say we all knew that if everything comes together and we do what we can do best, then we are hard to beat. And that's what we all trusted to each other, because yeah, we were called a train, but a train just works as good as the smallest engine, let's say.
If you enjoyed this little clip from the podcast, you can check out full episodes of the podcast on any podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can click up here for another video that I know you're going to love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next day.